Oh, and of course, I don't get too long of a respite. Back to fighting hordes of enemies, which I'm already getting tired of, I will straight up admit. The main reason being the overall lack of enemy variety thus far. I have fought a total of 3 enemy types. The small boys, the chargers, these guys, and then the security drones. The ones that fire the lasers, and that's it. And considering I've been playing for a little over an hour, that's not exactly great enemy variety. To bring up another much better Metroidvania, by an hour in Hollow Knight, I think I had come across like close to 10 distinct enemy types. And it's not like I can say that this game beats Hollow Knight in terms of art direction either. It's great looking, but Hollow Knight is honestly better at that too. Basically, if you're looking for a good Metroidvania to play that's also gorgeous to look at, just go play Hollow Knight instead. Yeah, it's always a good sign when, while playing a game, you end up recommending another, but it is what it is. Alright, so I'm assuming, yeah, the reason why it's flashing is that I can now access it because I activated the power. I couldn't do so before. So this is another new area. I did have that loading screen tip of it mentioning that, oh god, alarm. That I could fight the first 3 bosses in any order. Now, I'd like to fight the one whose room I've already come across, or at least that's the assumption I've been making. But to do that, I need to find another security switch, it seems, and I have no idea where that may or may not be. Like, is heading on this way going to take me to there, or is this going to a new area? Because visually, it is a little bit different, so it might lead to a new area. That was just pure bullshit. How am I supposed to avoid a laser when it's fired like that? Come on now. Ah, boy. Well, at least I get to make a few more upgrades. That is one nice thing about having upgrades be available after death like this, is it makes death a little bit less bad. It reduces the stinginess of death a little bit. Oh shit, wait a minute, I might not actually have enough. Depends on how much it costs. Oh wait, no, I was about to unlock increased shield regeneration. Not the extra health elixir, that's gonna be a wise away. That kinda sucks, oh well. Might as well continue funneling my way toward that. So yeah, the question is, where do I go from here? Can I like zoom out to get a greater view of this? Doesn't seem like it. So I'd like to find my way to the second security switch, wherever that is. The one over here was marked with that large battery icon, and I don't see any of those anywhere else. I guess maybe I'll try and make my way to this other glowing precursor skull here. Because presumably that'll be another upgrade, so even if I don't end up getting to fight the boss anytime soon, getting a new upgrade is a pretty good stand-in for that. Actually, probably better, honestly. It gives me a greater verb set to play around with. Oh yeah, on the off chance you've never actually heard the word verb used in that way, when used to refer to video games, it means actions you can do. So verbs like jumping, double jumping, attacking, rolling, etc. I feel like that's somewhat obvious from the context, but just in case it isn't, I figured it would be a good idea to explain that. Yeah, honestly, the horde system isn't so bad when I'm fighting only a few enemies. It's when it goes apeshit and just throws, like, really what feels like several hordes at me that things end up getting a little bit ridiculous. And honestly, kind of unfun. I'm up for a challenge, that's why I picked hard, but the enemies just end up being more of a pain to deal with than anything. Elder Shard Destroyer, okay. I'm guessing I don't want to touch that burning floor. Alright, I guess I'll destroy it then. Or not? I mean, this seems important. I feel like I should be able to do something here. Oh, you know what? One of the taglines of this game is serve or obey or something like that. Basically, whether you want to go full-on madness cultist and end up doing the bidding of your Elder God patron willingly, or if you want to try and subvert them. And I'm guessing that's what that machine is for. He will no doubt want me to use the Elder Shards for something, but I'm guessing I can choose to destroy them in that furnace instead. If you're curious as to what I'm going to do, I of course am going to serve my Elder God patron faithfully. Because if you know anything about Lovecraft, you know that once you're aware of the Eldritch truth, your life is pretty much over. You only have madness at the knowledge that you're just an insignificant speck in the universe. That's all you have left to you. So at best, you're gonna be a forever depressed individual, never able to get mentally well again once you've contacted the Eldritch truth. And at worst, you'll be a gibbering wreck who has to be held in an insane asylum for your own safety. And in that case, once you make contact with the Eldritch truth, as far as I'm considered, you might as well go full bear and just serve whatever Elder God you've made contact with faithfully. Because at least that way you get to have fun before you go completely insane. Basically, if I was offered to be made a vampire, a werewolf, or anything supernatural like that, I would fully jump in. That's just the kind of person I am. If there's something beyond humanity, why not go with it? The only reason being human is so valuable is because we are the apex of this planet. But if there's something beyond and you have the chance to become that thing, you'd be a fool to reject that. At least that's my opinion. I really need to kill these crushers. Well, that was quick, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mentioned this several times before, but they really need to make your health and shield bars way more obvious. Like, I can understand trying to make them small and out of the way, so they don't take up too much screen real estate so you can enjoy the gorgeous art. But with a game that has combat this hectic, you really need to be able to tell how much health you have at a glance. And consistently, I've been unable to do that because it just takes up such a small portion of the screen that it's really difficult to actually see what your health is without taking all your attention away from the combat. And if you end up doing that, you're just asking to be hit even more. So, again, that's another facet of what I mean when I say that this was a game that seems designed by artists rather than game designers per se. Well, at least, not good game designers. They end up making concessions for the gameplay, for the art, at the cost of the gameplay, and that's never a good thing. Alright, back here at this glowing pod. I don't know, if I wipe out all the enemies here, will I end up being able to access it, or is it just verboten to me at the moment? Will I need some sort of upgrade if I wish to break it? That is quite possibly the case. Oh yeah, and I realize I haven't been making use of my ground pound all that much, and I probably should. It might end up coming in handy against some of these enemy types. The issue is, it does have a bit of a delay before it actually properly, fully activates, so it's hard for me to find the time to use it. At least that's what I found so far. Christ, they just keep breaking my shields, don't they? What the fuck? Again, I did pick hard on my first playthrough. I understand that I'm getting a little bit of extra punishment as a result of that, but how did I even die there? Like, I don't know what damaged me so quickly. Didn't I just have a good chunk of my health bar remaining? And then all of a sudden it was just gone. Okay, I made it back here and only just barely in one piece. The combat encounter I just had was really ridiculous. It really does seem like they were guarding whatever the hell this thing is, but I don't seem to be able to do anything with it just yet. Oh, wait, okay, maybe I do need to beat all these enemies. Previously, the pistons just go down every now and again and act as an environmental hazard, but it seems right now they're specifically acting as a sort of shield. Speaking of shields, I need to let mine regenerate, so let me just wander around and hopefully avoid damage, and fail to do so because, yeah, I think one way to greatly improve the combat of this game would let you dodge roll in midair. That would just give you so much more mobility, and it would really help tons. There are so many instances where I could have avoided death had that actually been an ability available to me. Maybe it'll be an upgrade at some point, I certainly wouldn't mind that. So one issue with having whole hordes of encounters like this is that it's really hard to focus fire and take them down one at a time to lessen the trouble that you have to deal with. Because there's so many things on the screen that you have no idea what you have damaged and what you haven't. And even finding the time to let your shield regenerate can be quite difficult. Like, maybe I should just go somewhere else, I just cannot seem to take on this encounter. And even getting up to there with full health and an elixir is a chore. Because right before, they always seem to drop like 2 or 3 hordes on me at once, that I need to spend like 2 minutes carving my way through. It's a bit ridiculous. Okay, I should be able to do it this time, I hope. I could just leave it alone and, you know, pass beyond, but I want to give it one more good college try. Especially since I'm in the best position I have been since first attempting this. Given that I have both full health and a health elixir. So I'm gonna try my best and actually focus on which enemies I've damaged. Because if I can thin their numbers, I'll have so much less trouble to deal with. And immediately I'm already failing at that. Great. Another issue I have with the whole combat is one I mentioned before, actually, not as a... Fucking hell, look at how much damage I took at once there. I didn't even get a chance to heal, I think. I just get obliterated instantly, I'm going to get this fucking purple thing if it's the last goddamn thing I do. And, it honestly might. I'm just gonna be doing this until 80 years later I suddenly keel over from a heart attack from old age. Oh boy. Again, enemies attacking from off-screen, which is very fair. This is actually something I mentioned earlier that the game seemed to be doing well, was zooming out when the situation called for it, so you could actually see everything at once. Here, it's not really doing that, much to its and my detriment. Okay, I just need to go full bore and take these guys out immediately, yeah. With the charges dead, I'm in a much better position to handle things. I'm fine with using that healing flask there because I had that other one that dropped. Alright, that's more enemies dead, and they're all bunched up. Perfect, I can all take them out at once, hopefully. God, enemies in this have so much HP. I wonder how much of that is just naturally how it's designed, and how much of it's from me choosing hard. Like, maybe hard just doubles enemy HP. And that's the real reason that I'm having so much goddamn trouble here. Certainly the fact that enemies keep teleporting in and never seem to end doesn't help matters. Just gonna heal there. Better than keeling over all of a sudden. Perfect, another heal. Yeah. Picking up that charm was definitely a good idea. I would be dead if not for that. Okay, I might have actually reached the end of this round here. It doesn't seem like there are any more enemies spawning in. Oh, you know what? That's probably what was killing me all those times, and I never realized it because of how much chaos was going on. It is a slightly upgraded version of those worm enemies, but this one damages you on contact. I never noticed it because of all the chaos going on, but yeah, that's probably what was killing me all of a sudden, in a lot of the instances. Oh no, really don't want to die now, not when victory is so close within my grasp. Come on. So my shield regenerate. Take out the lesser worms first, since they don't deal contact damage. And then I can deal with the Lith worm. Sorry, the Lith apostrophe worm. I gotta say, I'm not a fan that it does contact damage. I guess it only does it if I'm in front of it, which isn't so bad. Still not great. What? Just, what is it that I'm supposed to do when there end up being like 12 of those meteorites all coming after me with different timings and from different directions? Like, how is it that I'm supposed to avoid all of them? I really can't. Because they don't just do damage on impact, they do damage for the entirety of their flight. Like, if I had more maneuverability, I could see myself doing it, as I mentioned so long ago now. If I could dodge in the middle of the air, or if I had a double jump, or really anything more than what I currently do, I could probably manage it. But the thing is, with so much going on and having so limited dodges, literally I can only have 3 at a time, which seems like even more of a ridiculous design decision in the face of a difficult encounter like this. I just don't have the mechanical stuff, the mechanics necessary to avoid all of that bullshit. Not unless I have the ability to literally perfectly time every one of my movements and dodges. Like, that's really the only way I'm getting through this. And again, it is a Metroidvania, so you could argue that, oh, I'm supposed to come back and do this later. But just from the way that the game is designed, it doesn't seem like that's the intention the developers have. They do seem like they want me to beat this right now. It's just that it's been so poorly balanced that ends up being a far more Herculean task than they thought. And of course, again, this could just be hard mode. It might be fine on normal. But part of the reason I actually like to play video games on hard is that I feel that it uncovers flaws like this more readily, balance issues with the game. Because on normal, oftentimes things end up being balanced tamely enough that issues aren't immediately apparent, because even if something ends up being poorly designed, you can usually just end up tanking through it. Rarely is that the case on hard, and that's really the reason why I enjoy playing games for my first time on harder difficulties, is it's a really good litmus test for what is a well-designed game and what isn't.
2,000 years later.
Seriously, why is that thing so lethal? Contact with it for even a brief instance does so much goddamn damage. It has such wide-ranging attacks, and it's so fast too. I understand it's meant to be like a mini-boss type monster, but holy crap is this thing ridiculous. Oh dear. I gotta let my shield regenerate, I can't go after it now. And of course, that ever-present contact damage that makes it ridiculously tough to approach. And yeah, the reason that killed me is that attack right there has a wider radius than its smaller counterparts. That's what screwed me over on what would have been a victory run. Which at this point was like 1,000 years ago. I guess I just have to tank the contact damage with my shield and go for hits. I really don't think I have any other options here. Again, if I had other forms of attack, range damage, or even just a slightly extended melee attack range, this wouldn't be nearly so bad, but as it is, I have no choice but to lame it out. Like, what would you do right here? What other choices would you make? I understand you're not playing the game and so you're less privy to decisions like that, but clearly there's really not much else I can be doing here, right? And hell, even this strategy isn't all that effective, given how little damage I do to it comparatively. Christ, this is so poorly designed. Oh, sorry, I mean, Nyarlathotep, this is so poorly designed. Case in point, look at that! It did so much damage right through my shield, too. I'm gonna end up dying again, aren't I? That's totally what's gonna happen here. Fuck, just touching it for an instant broke most of my shield. Why is this so poorly designed? Maybe I should try the ground pound move. That actually might work a bit better. I think it's one of my more powerful moves. And if I time it right, I can end up attacking it as it passes by and thus avoid the contact damage. At least that's what I was hoping. Christ, though, figuring out this timing is not going to be easy. Yeah, that seemed to do a decent amount of damage. And I avoided the contact damage as well. Good lord, though, this thing is insane. And by lord, I of course mean my lord and patron, Nyarlathotep. Not any of your Christian gods. Yep, this seems to be the best way to do things. Still gonna take a while, though. Why didn't I do the downward attack? Maybe I really shouldn't be using the analog stick. A game like this really feels like it should control better with it, but I think the D-pad would be better, if only for doing more precise inputs. I think when I hit like down and to the left, it registers that as left, and that's why it doesn't end up doing the downward attack when I want it to. Still though, it's so much more comfortable to use the analog stick, so that's not an easy decision to make by any means. Jeopardy theme begins to play. Or the Sonic Death theme, considering I just nearly died there. Oh boy. Boy, 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 boy. Or perhaps boys, 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 boys. Bear. Force. One. Na, 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 na. That is a great music video. YouTube, Bear Force 1 if you want to see something truly majestic. It was... okay, thank God for that undershirt mechanic, or I would be dead right there. There is no greater majesty than that of the common bear. Come on, it's almost dead, and so am I for that matter. Please just let this be over, game. And over in my favor specifically, I mean. Okay, I did not expect it to spawn there. Usually it seems to spawn right where I am, but it seemed like it was trying to trick me. Almost got me too. That's like, what? 3 more hits? Come on. I can do this. I know I can. Unless I mistime it and take more damage than ideal. This is going to end up being an entire episode, even with edits, isn't it? If I end up making this a full playthrough as opposed to a let's try, which I might. At this point, my options for Steam refunding are quite limited, I think. Like, I might be able to do it, but probably not. Okay, at least I got a decent amount of currency for doing that. And then even more from this corrupted treasure, presumably. Shield flasks, and a new perk. Okay. So yeah, maybe that was intended to be done sometime later, considering how good of a reward I got from it. Still not worth all the trouble I put in, but if you're more competent at games than me, that's probably worth going for early on. I'm just gonna continue on and really hope I end up picking up some health charges really quick. Otherwise, it's back to the start. Really, before I finish this first play session here, yeah, I've been playing this the entire time if that weren't obvious. That's why I'm getting so frustrated. I really want to try out one of their bosses first. There are 3 and they can be done in any order, so I should be able to access one fairly early on, I would imagine. but I seem to have a good ability at avoiding them, considering I have not encountered one thus far. Wait a minute, have I been here before? No, this is a new room, yeah. Because I definitely haven't been over in... Oh! Speaking of bosses... I'm gonna avoid going in there just yet. I really want to see if I can't farm up a health flask from some of the enemies. I guess this is one of the rare positive points of this enemy spawning system. All I gotta wait is for some enemies to spawn in, and I get a chance to get some more healing flasks. Come on, luck, be with me. Please don't make me farm forever. I'd really rather avoid that. Come on, all I need is one health flask. I prefer two, but one should be enough to give me a shot at this boss. Hell, after the hell that was that mini-boss gauntlet, I feel like the boss will probably end up being a cakewalk in comparison. Oh, there are some boys. Oh crap, I rolled right off the edge. That's my bad. Seriously? No health flasks? Didn't it say that I get like a 4% chance of getting one from each currency thing that drops? I guess I'm just having poor luck this day. At this rate, I'll end up having to backtrack quite a ways to actually get to the damn boss. Come on, you think you can... Hey, there's my health flask, and there's my other health flask. Perfect. Oh wait, I could have sworn 2 dropped. I guess I must have misread that. I really want to farm up more. My health bar isn't quite filled. All those boosts I got from grinding my head against that combat situation really helped, didn't they? My health isn't filled, and I would like to have a spare health flask as well, if at all possible. Probably not going to be possible, but who knows. Of course, I have to be careful to not lose health in the meantime. That would defeat the whole purpose of this farming shenanigans that I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait a bit. I ran out of rolls, which is never a good position to be in this game. Okay! Yep, this was a mistake. This was very much a mistake. There's so much crap going on the screen that the frame rate actually dropped for a second there. That's how you know that shit is real. And perhaps a little bit more intensive than it should be. God damn it, look at all this garbage. Oh great, and there's a superior one, I'm assuming, given that purple targeting reticle. Off screen. I don't even think I can get to it because I think I'm locked in here. Well, turns out farming for health flasks was a bit of a mistake. At least doing so by venturing so far forward like I did. Well, I do have quite a lot of currency now, so I should be able to pick up some very nice stuff. So, first of all, extra health elixir capacity. And fantastic, I do start with 2. That'll give me so much of an easier time. What then do I go for next? It doesn't seem like I can travel, beyond this section here. The rest of it's blackened out until I get whatever upgrades govern those. So what would be the best bonus to focus on? I could certainly use more shields. I think more energy is the thing I should head for right now. Yeah, because as I found out in that situation, or not found out for the first time, but as I explained, running out of rolls in the midst of a combat is not a good thing. I think I'd rather do so by boosting my melee damage, though. Although perhaps I should go for more damage reduction, it's hard to say. I'm gonna go for the damage. Killing things quicker sounds like a good idea to me. And hey, I get a minus shield buff by going this way as well, nice. Alright, next time I die, I'll probably have enough to pick up that bonus. Alright, well, let's see if I can make it to the boss unscathed enough to actually challenge it. Which, fortunately, it looks like I'm gonna get a chance to do right now. Unfortunately, it looks like the boss is just gonna be a larger reskin of those meteoroids, but maybe it'll be sufficiently different. Model Luther X09. Okay, avoid that because it does enough damage to break through my shield in one go. Not surprising that, considering it's a boss and all. I'm sure it'll be summoning enemies soon enough as well. I can see that being a method that the game will use to make the bosses more difficult, probably when it reaches a certain HP threshold. But yeah, so, okay, it attacks multiple times, good to know. Kind of a bit bullshit that it can do so even when it's off screen. The camera really should be zoomed out more here. Okay, thank you for doing that, game, right as I say it. So that way I can actually see when it's going to do multiple passes and can actually avoid them. So things are definitely getting more tense. I'm going to focus on the ads just under the assumption that it won't immediately spawn more. Just so that way I can reduce the amount of objects I need to avoid and watch out for. And once I've dealt with them, then I can focus back on the boss. Okay, no, it's just spawning more, so take them out when I have the chance, but focus fire mostly on the boss. Fair enough. It honestly doesn't have too much health. Things will probably end up getting even more chaotic after I get it lower, but this definitely seems way more doable than that mini-boss challenge. And that's not even taking into account the fact that I now have 2 healing flasks. So I have quite a large health reserve. I can take quite a few hits. Yep, this thing is almost dead. Honestly, that purple thing should have been marked as a boss, and this should have been a mini-boss. At least as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I think it might be changing up its pattern a little bit. At least that would it... Okay, healing time. That's what it seemed to be doing. I guess it was just lazy about attacking in that instance. Yeah, okay. Things are quite a bit chaotic, and I just don't have enough downtime to get my shield back up. Which is going to be the cause of my death in a few seconds here. Okay, maybe I was too quick in calling the boss kind of pathetic. This is actually rather nasty. I'm trying to time my dodges so I avoid the little ones and the big one. But it's really fucking difficult, and yep. Okay, boss, take 2. I think one of the things that would help would be using this ground pound move a lot more. It is easily one of the strongest moves that you have. Like, it ends up doing as much damage as your 5-hit combo, and in a pretty wide radius, pretty quickly as well too. It's really great for dealing with groups and just kind of one-shotting some of the weaker enemies like the boys. I'm never going to refer to them by their proper name in case you were wondering. I think it's what, Elenia or something? Something like that. But they're small, they're cute, they're boys. Oh damn it, I got knocked away so far I didn't get a chance to get off a lot of damage this time. Bad planning on my part. Okay, how much health does it have? I haven't been keeping good track. It's not entered the Berserk phase just yet, thank God. I would like to have full shields when it does that, which is probably right about now. Because finding the time to recover shields, or even the dodge charges, is really goddamn tricky. Alright, got off an okay amount of damage. Not amazing, but it's decent. Hey, that upwards attack from a standing position is actually good for striking multiple enemies at once as well. I didn't realize that. So that is also definitely a cause of some of my troubles, is not utilizing what combat mechanics I do have to their fullest. I fully accept that. Yeah, I gotta take some of these down. Even if it ends up spawning more, that's fine. I just gotta get rid of some of them. Just so I have a chance to actually focus on dodging him. Which it doesn't look like I'm actually gonna get. Seriously, you really should not be having limited dodges in this game. It just does not work with the enemy design at all. Oh god. Yeah, as much as I would like to have it this attempt, I don't think I'm gonna. The big issue is really just how long the shield takes to recharge. I just can't find the time with all this nonsense going on. Oh god, it is so close to being dead though. Like, I think if I can get one good round of hits against it, I'll have it. Come on. God damn it. I was too focused on the offense, and I should have gone for the dodge and then attacked. I probably would have had the time to. Oh well. Oh, apparently there are secret treasure chests that I need to listen carefully to. So I guess audio cues really are going to be an important part of this game. More so than just something for your ears to enjoy. I wonder if I've come across any of those secret chests thus far, and simply haven't noticed them because I haven't been keeping an ear out. I guess I'll try and do that in the future. Okay, third time is the charm, surely. Oh, I probably said that when fighting that hellacious mini-boss gauntlet. And look how incorrect I turned out to be. Yeah, that does a lot of damage, just fully breaks my shields. That's why it becomes such a threat later on in the fight. Especially with that huge awe, that's really the main ridiculous thing about it. Just hits so far around. I feel like it attacks just a few too many times when in its final phase. I understand it's supposed to be more hectic to make that part of the fight more difficult, but like it goes like 5 or 6 times, which is a bit much. I feel like it should top out at 4 at worst. Okay, I gotta thin out the enemy ranks before it starts attacking as much as I can. Okay, an extra health flask. If I had that on those previous attempts, I probably would have survived. Probably, not guaranteedly. God damn it. That's right. I can't afford to ignore the smaller ones as well. On their own, they're not a threat, but when they're grouped up and attack me so many times in a row, they're about as dangerous as the boss, honestly. Still got 2 charges, though. That allows me to tank through a fair amount of this bullshit, so I might be able to do it. Come on. Third time, third time. Rule of threes. Rule of threes. Yes, I think I have it. Perfect. Oh, I'm supposed to wait for this platform, I guess. I'll do that. That seems easier than trying to platform across with these lasers. So, I acquired my first Elder Shard. I need 3 of them to make a hole. And I'm guessing that I can destroy them probably only after I've made them whole. In that furnace that I've come across. That's what I theorized earlier, if you recall. So hey, 2 hours in? Actually, probably much longer than that. I should check OBS just to see how long I've been recording. This long in, and I've finally discovered the purpose of the game, overall it seems. Granted, it's only that long because of how long I spent bashing my head against that one mini-boss. Which, as it turns out, was way more difficult than the actual boss. I figure I might as well end things out by getting to that alien face. That'll probably give me an upgrade of some sort, and it looks like it'll lead back to the general hub area anyway. And might as well end on a very positive note. In before I end up dying horribly on the way to that. With the luck I've been having so far, I wouldn't put it past fate to do that. Yeah, sure, now I'm getting lucky with those health flasks. I really want to get that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. Not with my current movement capabilities and these asshole thorns here. I might just barely be able to attack it if I really finagle it, but that's not likely to be worth the effort, honestly. I'm just gonna move on. Okay, so let's see what's over here. They really shouldn't be able to follow you into a room like this, I'm sorry. That's the reason why Metroid and Castlevania and so many other Metroidvania games actually have strict barriers between rooms to prevent shit like that from happening. Well, let's see what new thing I got. Please be something useful. Leaping device. Did somebody say double jump? Yes, I did in fact. And it seems the game is actually going to give me a bit of a boon here. I guess to make up for the trouble I just had. Oh yeah, this is going to help so much. Not just in terms of me getting around the environments more easily, but now I actually have the ability to dodge attacks while in the air. This is going to come in so handy. Oh. So now if I encounter another annoying situation like that mini-boss encounter, I think I might actually have a decent shot at handling it. Alright, so with some actual progress achieved at last, took me long enough, I think now's as good a time as any to leave things off here.